My new book is about the need to reform the institutions of the country, and particularly, more importantly, it's about how to reform our institutions in the country. The need to write the book was because we learned in the last few years in India that people are very dissatisfied with the condition of institutions in the country. This includes institutions of government, of administration, police, and so on, and also even institutions of big business. There's a growing mistrust in the institutions of the country. And the Planning Commission found that because of this growing mistrust, policies cannot be made, implementation gets hampered because people resist changes which they are coming from institutions they do not trust. So it was necessary to focus us on the need to reform institutions, and then, as I said, more importantly, then how do you do it? So that's what the book is about. The Planning Commission did an analysis 3 years ago when we were making the 12th plan. Before you make a plan, you should understand what the condition is which you have to change, and you want a plan for that. And you should also understand the outcome that people want of your plan. So we had consulted the people of the country very widely for the first time. We consulted with the help of 1,000 organizations, actually almost 1,000 organizations, various constituencies throughout the country. And from that, we determined what is going on in the country, what people care about, what people are concerned about, and what needs to change. That helped us to produce a model of the country, what are the forces shaping the country. And we found at the heart of it today is a growing mistrust, the growing mistrust of citizens and investors in the institutions of the country. So the Planning Commission made a recommendation that we must fix the institutions, and that is in the opening chapter of the 12th plan. And the scenarios which were then developed to indicate that if you improve the institutions, what the growth of the economy would be, what the level of reduction of poverty could get to, and so on, are all in the plan. So what I'm saying in terms of reflection on the actual condition of the country, that it's not very good, is an official representation. It is approved by the cabinet, it is approved by the National Development Council, so there's no secret here. We all know that the institutions are not functioning very well. The question is, well, what do we do about it? So my book is mostly about how do you fix these institutions. Yes, we've said that the root cause for the slower growth is that the institutions are not in good condition. So what we've said is, if you do not fix the institutions, then your growth is going to continue to remain very low. But if you do fix the institutions, then here's what the growth rate could be. And we've given those projections there. Absolutely. India is a very diverse country, spread all over a large geography, a very diverse geography also. So the conditions of people in all different parts of the country are very different. And no central system can impose a one-size-all-fits-all solution onto such a diverse country. So that's one requirement, that you must find a way to find many solutions which are appropriate each for themselves. So that is also a democratic idea, that let the solutions be coming from the people in their places. Secondly, politically, we all believe in democracy. We want people to have the rights to control the system. So in India, we cannot have a dictatorship which says that I'm denying you your rights to have your say in the governance of this country. Politically, it's not desirable, and in our constitution, it cannot be done. And I'm saying, in terms of logic also, it's not a good solution. A dictator, I say, cannot function in this country. For a while, the dictator might have solutions, and then after some time, it will be found there'll be two reactions. One is that the solutions did not work everywhere. So you got to change the solutions with the inputs of the people where they are. And the second is, like we found in the emergency time, that people will react. That we don't want a dictator to make the trains run, because we like our freedom. So the trains running is good, but we value our freedom even more. Yes, this is the point about institutions, creating the institutions we need. And when you create a new way of doing things or a new institution, then the existing ways of doing things must change, or the existing institutions will find that there is some replacement of them, some competition to them. So as we created the Competition Commission, which is a new institution, the existing institutions in the ministries and others are feeling somewhat threatened. And so there's a contention between the emerging new institution and the existing institutions. I don't know, but who knows? Firstly, let's not be 100% sure of what exactly is the configuration of the new government. We'll know more after the 16th of May. But more than that, I think the new government will apply itself, will have to apply itself to what are the changes necessary in the institutions and what is the priority to be given to some changes and others to be deferred a little later. But that's the job of the government. Actually, there's a common thread that is running through all these books. My very first book was focused very much on business organizations. That is the accelerating organization, because then I was in the midst of consulting with large business organizations all over the world, based in the US. So it was like a management book. My second book, which I wrote when I came to India, was called Shaping the Future, which was both. It was addressed to business leaders, but it was also being addressed to leaders outside business, that is leaders of civil society organizations, leaders of government organizations also. My third book, Remaking India One Country, One Destiny, was really a compilation of articles I'd written, some thoughts I had for many years, and then wove a thread through them. And that was about India. So it's not just about business or about the government, but the whole system together. My fourth book, which was Discordant Democrats, which was to the question that you asked me. India needs to be the master of democracy and democratic processes. So looking for examples to countries which don't need to be or are not that democratic, and to say we should apply those processes over here, like say Singapore. It's a small country. Right? It doesn't work for us. We have to develop our own democratic processes. And since we are so diverse, there's so much discord in the country. So I wrote this book, The Discordant Democrats, with a solution which I call the 5 steps to achieve consensus. My next book was called Transforming Capitalism, which was getting to the heart of the institutions. That we've got many institutions like business institutions, regulators like you said, and government which is there to give rules for business institutions and regulate them. This mix of institutions needs to transform if we want capitalism, that is business, to serve the interests of everybody in the world and not just the shareholders to do that. So that was that book. And then this book is taking that whole idea about institutional reform one step further.